Just a heads up to you folks sitting with a notebook and pen, Mishki, the new podcast here in Garage Logic Land, is now coming out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. If you're in fact scribbling this down, Wednesday is kind of tough to spell. It's not like it sounds. You want to spell it W-E-N-Z, but that, of course, would be a mistake. Friday is spelled just like it sounds. You're going to be okay there, but Wednesday's a bugaboo. Let me tell you, people, just a pain in the patootie. Jeez, it's hard.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1646, October 24, 2025. 80 degrees, the record high on this day. That was in 1989. And chilly as 15 degrees on this day in 1887. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
We have a woman in studio with us who wants to do something about fraud in this state. She also wants to run for governor, but we won't talk about that because we would doom her chances. Kristin Robbins. Kristin, I've never met anybody from Crookston.
You're kidding. You've never met Roger Moe?
Probably not in person. Was he Crookston?
Yes.
Never. I don't think I ever met Roger. I probably did, but I don't count him. So, Kristin Robbins from Crookston, and you are a House member.
Yes, I am.
And you have been for, since 5-6 years?
I'm in my fourth term, so I was elected in 2018.
Okay. And you, how did it come to be that you're the head of the House Fraud Committee?
You know, when the Democrats cheated in having a candidate who didn't win the Roseville seat because they didn't live there.
That's right.
We had to renegotiate the power sharing agreement. And as part of that agreement, we got the 2-year speaker, Republican Speaker Lisa Demuth, and we got creation of the Fraud Committee.
And where does it stand right now? What are you making progress? Do you have great hopes for it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the first time in the history of the legislature we've had an oversight body like this dedicated to looking at agencies, looking at fraud, trying to make sure agencies are running properly. And in our first year of the legislature, you know, we had hearings every week. I've continued the hearings monthly since we adjourned. So I'm the only committee currently meeting while we're not in session. And we continue to bring sunlight to this, highlight aspects of fraud that our staff is researching. We created a whistleblower portal. In the first month, we had 530 whistleblower reports. We're well over 800 now, and we're trying to get through them as fast as we can and get back to people, but that's really brought to light a lot of the fraud that we've been uncovering. 800
whistleblower reports from within state agencies.
Yes, well, from people in the agencies who work there, people in the counties who work there, but also people who are recipients or providers. So it's a broad swath of Minnesotans who want to tell us what's going on and clean up the fraud.
How do you think it came to pass that this all became so fraudulent? Joe Thompson, who you're familiar with, of course, I think he believes that every agency in some capacity is affiliated with fraud. How did this happen?
You know, I think it's an absolute failure of oversight and internal controls. Tim Walz has failed to provide leadership and hold agencies accountable, and they just have had the green light to shovel as much money out the door as possible instead of making sure it's spent effectively.
Did it precede Walz?
I think so, but I think under Walz we've seen it just be magnified. So there are OLA reports going back to 2003 highlighting these problems. So it's always been a problem, I think, for quite a while. But the amount of money that came in during COVID and the amount of expansion of, especially in the Medicaid, Minnesota is an outlier in the number of extra services we provide. And those programs have very little oversight. And that's where a lot of the fraud has been.
Explain to us the difficulty in establishing the Inspector General position.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
What happened?
So we had broad bipartisan support to establish an independent Office of Inspector General within the executive branch, passed the Democrat-led Senate by a vote of 60-7. And then when it got to the House, the governor's staff and DHS staff testified against it. And that's why it died. And this is the agency where most of the fraud is occurring. So we absolutely have to get this done because the legislature, because of separation of powers, we can have all these hearings, we can pass bills, but we can't actually force the executive branch to change things. So we need a new governor and we need this independent Office of Inspector General to have independent authority to take action within the executive branch.
Is it an obvious conclusion to say they didn't want it because they all would have been found out?
I think it certainly is. Like, they do not want to be held accountable for what's going on inside the government right now. And we have to, and Joe Thompson's doing a great job. The feds have been a fantastic partner. So thank goodness for that. The federal partners are holding them accountable, but we have to do more at the state level.
It's beyond belief. I believe Joe Thompson believes this state is unique in this fraud.
Oh, absolutely. And Andy Lugar, former U.S. Attorney General, former U.S. Attorney here in Minnesota, who is a Democrat, said the same thing when he first started talking about it during the Feeding Our Future case.
And despite all this, and we got to be careful here because you're on Garage Logic and our record is very poor. You have thrown your hat in the ring for governor. What compelled that decision?
You know, partly it was tied to the fraud. So, I mean, I'm from Crookston, as you mentioned. I've been blessed to raise 3 daughters here, have my life and career here. But under Tim Walz, we have seen the state decline dramatically. The fraud is out of control. The fiscal responsibility is absent, taking an $18 billion surplus, raising taxes $11 billion, $6 billion deficit. Like, education test scores are terrible. Our kids are not being well educated. So of every measure that we used to have as like what Minnesota is about, we've been declining. And I thought, I looked at my colleagues in the race and I thought, we've got to have a governor who's going to get in there and reverse these policies. I'm so bullish on Minnesota. I love Minnesota and it's not too late to change it, but we've got to get in there and start reversing course.
Well, it needs a complete overhaul. When you guys are wandering around on the House floor and you're shooting the breeze, how is Walz regarded?
I would say
as a complete idiot, a stupid, incompetent crook. Wow.
I mean, I would never want to speak for my colleagues.
Of course you would. No.
But I would say that mostly he's been AWOL. So
really? I suppose when he was running for VP, he was really gone.
Yeah, but even during session, I mean, I cut my political teeth way back in the day when Arnie Carlson was governor, and I worked on education reform with him. And Arnie was in the building in his maroon and gold every day.
The moth-eaten sweater.
Yes, the moth-eaten
It was moth-eaten. I can verify that. But he was in there buttonholing people, meeting people, calling people in for meetings, really working both sides of the legislature, making deals. And in my 7 years in the legislature, I literally have rarely seen Tim Walz.
Isn't that something? Whoa. What's he doing?
I have no idea.
He's changing that air filter in that pickup truck.
It's truly amazing. You went to Bethel.
Yes.
And then you went to Washington University in St. Louis. And you have a master in economics. What have you done as a career in your life?
So right out of college, I worked on Capitol Hill in D.C. for 3 years. I was a legislative director for a member of Congress, and that's how I met my husband. We've been married 32 years. And then we both did our degrees. I worked briefly, as I mentioned, for 2 or 3 years on education reform when we moved back to Minnesota. I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years, which was the best. And then I knew former Congressman Mark Kennedy and Tim Penny. And when they retired from public life, they wanted to start a group focused on Minnesota's competitiveness. So I started and ran the Economic Club of Minnesota, and I did that until I was elected.
Okay. Have you ever worked in the private sector?
I consider the Economic Club was a nonprofit, but it was really focused on the private sector.
It wasn't a government agency.
No, it was not.
Right.
No, and it was very working with our business community and small businesses to focus on policies that would make us more competitive.
Is the business community in Minnesota healthy right now?
I would say they're struggling. So we have great bones. We've had great companies come here, but with all the new regulations on companies and with the, honestly, complete outlier tax policies, they are struggling here. And I'd say most of the companies are not reinvesting here. So if they've been historically headquartered here, they're not expanding in Minnesota for the most part. They're expanding elsewhere.
What would you say to them if you were governor?
I would say we're going to right this ship so that we can be competitive. We need to have our tax policies competitive for companies, but also for workers. We are an outlier on personal income tax, on corporate tax, on pension tax, on Social Security, on estate tax, on capital gains tax, on any measure of taxation that would incentivize investment in Minnesota. We are losing. Same with attracting talent to Minnesota. But we can change that. And we need to grow the economy. We need investment and we need talent to come here. And that's what we need to focus on because right now we are driving people out of this state.
The $18 billion surplus, it got spent.
Yes.
That essentially did nothing except create the responsibility on the part of the taxpayers to now fund an additional $18 billion every 2 years. Because that $18 billion wasn't a one-time situation. It created programs, did it not?
Yes.
It created programs that now must be funded. The government got too big.
Absolutely. The government grew from a $52 billion budget to a $72 billion budget in 2 years. I mean, we said at the time, this is bonkers. It is completely unsustainable. We cannot have a 40% growth in the state. The economy's not growing 40%.
No.
The workforce isn't growing 40%. Like it was, a sandcastle.
I should mention you represent what area? Maple Grove and
Western Maple Grove and all of Corcoran, Medina, Greenfield, Independence, Loretto, and Maple Plain.
Yeah, I was out that way last weekend. That's a long way out on the metro.
It is. It's on the metro. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't you love my district? I love it.
I do. I went on a leaf peeping tour, but I never saw any leaves because I never got off Highway 55 all the way to Annandale, where I was supposed to meet up with some other cars, and it's a long story, but I hadn't been out that way in ages. It's really growing.
It is, yes.
I mean, the housing developments are just incredible. Which amused me as I drove by them because when they get knocked down by a tornado, climate change will get blamed. But I would point out they weren't there 100 years ago or 50 years ago. You will continue to serve in the House.
Yes.
And then when in seriousness does the governor's race begin, do you think?
Well, I think it's on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very engaged. I'm going everywhere. Tonight, we're going to Mankato. I'm trying to get all over the state to meet people and talk to voters. But the formal process, precinct caucuses, start February 3rd.
And Kendall Qualls, we know, is a good man.
Yep.
You're up against Kendall. I believe Scott Johnson is running again.
Scott Jensen.
I'm sorry, Jensen. But you bring a real fresh look to this. You have not run before. You're deeply involved with the fraud situation. In fact, you're on top of it, it would seem. You're there. You get to see it. And there's more coming down the line in terms of fraud.
Absolutely.
How much will fraud dominate the upcoming legislative session?
I think it's going to be one of the top issues. When I'm out talking to voters, they are so fed up with their taxpayer money being stolen. And I mean, people have had it with the fraud and also with, the lack of affordability. So on the one hand, we've had billions of dollars stolen, but people's taxes were raised $11 billion. Mm-hmm. So Minnesotans are so frustrated about that. Minnesotans want to have good government, and they feel like that value proposition has just been broken.
It's hard for me to imagine, given what people know or should know, that Walz could even be a serious contender. I think he just shows a lot of nerve even running again. I think he's been outed as not national fodder, so he's sticking to what he does here. But this state can't afford to elect a guy that has that has presided over this.
Right, because if we don't get a new governor, we are not going to be able to change the fraud. Like, he has shown no interest in holding people accountable. They keep rearranging the deck chairs over there at DHS and not firing anyone. And we have to have new leadership that gets rid of changes the culture. So it's a no fraud, no excuses culture where we stop just shoveling money out the door.
That's the right term. It seems it requires such a major shift in the environment there that people have to get fired. They have to be held accountable. They have to get serious about what they're doing. And I just don't see any of that under him.
No.
And as you've pointed out, which alarms me, you don't even see him. He's not around. He should be in there.
He's like a sales guy around here.
Yeah. Especially on Friday.
Especially on a Friday.
But, I mean, he should be in there like Arnie, hectoring people and trying to work both sides of the room and try to get something done. And was he ever capable of that in your experience?
I have not seen it. So I've always served in the minority until this last session when we've been in a tie. But there was certainly no effort to reach out that I saw. The only time I got invited to the governor's residence was as a freshman. We got to go. It was a thing for all freshmen. But my understanding from the most recent couple of classes of freshmen is they haven't been invited. So I don't know.
Really. Kristin Robbins, we thank you.
Can I ask a two-part question very briefly?
Yes,
So,
and then I have an invite for Kristin.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
I have a two-part question for you. With the fraud, what role should Keith Ellison have played, and what role should he not have played with all of this? And the other thing I just thought of is we played a clip from you guys a week or so ago talking about voting, and you were heading up that discussion, and that spurred a lengthy discussion on this show. What role does the lack of transparency with voters in this state play in addition to the fraud as well? Yes. And how trustworthy is that process?
Okay, so first the Keith Ellison question, because they're very different questions. First of all, the Attorney General does have a special Medicaid fraud control unit, and they have done some work helping with the prosecutions that Joe Thompson is doing. Okay. But they're late to the party. So I have whistleblowers and I have emails where people have told me repeatedly they reached out to DHS, they reached out to the Attorney General, were totally ghosted, and nothing happened. It was only when the feds got involved that then they quickly tried to say, oh, we're helping and we're providing documentation, we're helping. But my understanding from the whistleblowers I talked to is that they repeatedly reached out and didn't get any traction. Oh. And so I think there's a lot more that an attorney general can and should be doing to partner with us on stopping the fraud.
Mm. And then the voting part of that as well.
Yes. So the hearing we had looked at how there had been guilty pleas in federal court for between 500 and 600 fake voter registrations last summer. And this just somehow didn't hit the news. So we wanted to talk about it because there's this sense from the Secretary of State that there's no voter fraud in Minnesota. Well, here we had 500 to 600 fake registrations in federal court, and no one was talking about it. So we wanted to know what happened to those fake registrations. And we were told they got sent to 13 different counties, but the counties weren't identified, and that not all of them led to voter records being created, but some did. And so I wrote a follow-up letter to the Secretary of State trying to find out what happened to all of those 500 to 600 fake registrations, how many of them are in the system as challenged, and why are they still in the system? Why aren't they deleted? But that leads to the larger question, like they are supposed to be monthly cleaning up our voter rolls based on reports on death from Social Security and based on people who move from DPS. And that monthly churn doesn't seem to be happening. And so we have reports of people who get, voter ballots or registrations from people who have been deceased for years. So we need to understand why they're not being cleaned up. The feds have asked for the Secretary of State to provide that information to the federal DOJ. They're stonewalling. They're in a court case over it. So if our rolls are so clean, I don't know why they're not just turning it over.
Will you come back with us when the fireworks hit in the fraud committee when the session starts?
Of course.
We've been talking about it on this show for 5 years, and I would like to see it get solved And I take it so would you, obviously.
Absolutely.
And so we'll count on that. Right?
Excellent.
We might as well plug your event in Mankato. Where are you going to be tonight?
We're doing a Republican women's bowling event. I honestly don't know where we're
Sweet.
going.
That's thrilling.
No, the bowling alley. I used to live in Mankato.
What's it called?
Well, it's the one that's right off 169, right? Yeah, that place is sweet.
What is it called?
Yeah.
Wild Zone.
Wild Zone?
Yeah.
It's
You want to go?
crazy.
Joe, let's go
Zone.
bowling.
Wow Zone.
It's
Wow Zone.
Wow Zone.
You want to go
Wow
bowling
Zone.
tonight, Joe?
Nice.
No, it's
Wanna
a
come
woman's
bowling?
event.
Oh, that's
it's
true.
It's a woman's event.
But all the gubernatorial candidates are going to be there, so
Really?
there will be guys there. So
All right,
you're
let's go.
welcome.
It'll be
And
fun.
then we can go to the hockey game. It'll be fun.
I have a thing.
Let's
I
make a
have
date.
a,
If you want a good burger, go to the 505 on Front Street.
Excellent.
It's awesome.
That's what we're doing for dinner
What
tonight,
about the
Marissa.
Lions Tap? Wait a minute.
That's in Eden Prairie.
That's not in Mankato.
It's on my way down there.
No. Kristin Robbins, thank you very much.
Thank you all
We'll be
very
back.
much. Look forward to it.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Turn that up. That's what I'm talking about. Say, take it down. Say, don't let those leaves blow through your garage door. You might have some problems with your current garage door. She might be acting up and making a lot of noise. You can book a noisy door tune-up special with Precision Garage Doors. If you need a new door, Precision Garage Doors is offering GLers $100 off right now on a single door, $200 off on a double door. They have models for every budget. They send out a garage door designer. You get to shoot the breeze about that, figure the whole thing out, increases the value of your home, saves energy, provides better security. But as I say, if you like your door, but she's acting up now, get it taken care of before winter with a 25-point safety inspection and diagnostic. Get ready for cooler weather ahead. Annual maintenance will keep you from stumbling out there when it's 10 below and try to figure out that door. Book online at precisiondoormn.com or call 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate with Precision Door or book the Noisy Door Special. I'm going to look forward to talking to Kristin Robbins during the legislative session because I'm choosing to believe she wants to get to the bottom of the fraud.
Yeah. And it's always interesting to watch someone, the information they give you, when you can kind of tell they know more, but they're being cautious about what they're willing to divulge.
I don't want to say a great deal about her run for governor. Why do that to her?
Yeah, we don't want to jinx her.
Because I want her to have a chance, and we don't want to be seen as the...
But how about the fact that all of these whistleblowers tried to go to Ellison, and they were just ignored?
Yeah, well, he's if you got a mop that doesn't work, he might be interested. But
or if you've got a woman trying to open up a coffee shop during COVID, he'll go after her.
We mentioned an Omar Fateh story yesterday that, as predicted, came out today in the print version of the Minneapolis paper, a front page story that says, the headline of which is "The Fierce Urgency of Minneapolis mayoral candidate Omar Fateh." I don't understand I just don't understand what his fierce urgency is.
Yeah, and the story doesn't indicate there's a fierce urgency of any sort.
But the story does contain something extremely interesting. Well, it's all interesting. It's interesting to me, and it's really not been ferreted out, that he got here and instantly had this meteoric rise and a succession of jobs. And the next thing you know, he's in the legislature. But we're talking about voting. Questions about elections would continue to fall. I'm just picking this out from the middle of the story. It's a long story. Yet questions about the election would continue to follow Fateh after he took his seat. This is the seat where he defeated Jeff Hayden to get in the legislature, especially after the FBI began looking into allegations of voter fraud. The federal investigation issued on misuse of the absentee ballot agent delivery process, in which elderly or ill voters can have a friend, family member, or someone else that they designate deliver their ballot to an election office. In the end, one person was charged with wrongdoing, Muse Muhammad Mohammed, who had volunteered for Fateh's 2020 campaign. Mohammed was eventually convicted of lying to a federal grand jury after he testified that he was asked to deliver absentee ballots for several workers in the 2020 primary. After Mohammed was convicted of perjury and Fateh's Senate DFL colleagues called on him to address the case, Fateh disclosed that Mohammed was, in fact, his brother-in-law.
Oh.
Fateh had previously told DFL leadership he had no relationship with him.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Omar Fateh is a serial liar.
Yes, he is.
And does that process still exist, the agent delivery process of voting? Can you check on that for me?
Check.
Because that's outrageous. So a guy goes through an apartment building
or a nursing home,
and says, "Hey, I got you."
Who do you want?
What a bunch of BS this is. Now, if that continues, Omar's your next mayor.
Yep.
Because there's no way that they wouldn't flood the...
And the ballots have already been sent out because the early voting process has begun and is well underway.
Voting is... When the great book is written, voting will prove to have been among the leading downfalls of this country. And do we have, John, a agent delivery process?
We do. To vote there, you have to be involved in this. You have to be a patient in a hospital,
sure,
a residential treatment center or nursing home, a resident of a group home, battered women's shelter, or assisted living facility,
Jesus
a voter with
H.
a disability, or a voter with an incapacitating health issue that makes getting to the polls difficult.
I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen of Minneapolis, that will be your downfall.
What does that tell you? Who are they?
It tells me that Omar's buddies who got a Hyundai can speed around all these joints and collect ballots and deliver them.
It tells you that they're doing what? They're preying upon the most vulnerable people in our state.
Well, there's a fierce urgency.
There is a process that you have to follow and complete many forms.
That doesn't mean anybody's going to follow it.
You have to complete many forms before the ballot would be accepted, I guess would be the acceptable word.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Just make it a federal holiday, get your butt into the poll, and that's how we should be voting. Simple.
We do have to have a wonderful note, though, in the midst of all
Can
this.
you bring me some happiness?
Yes.
Yes. As Mrs. Hannigan said in Annie, do I hear happiness?
You will. You're about to.
Okay, good.
Sophia Forches went home.
Yes.
That is good news.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
She is 12. She was among the 20 people shot during Mass the morning of August 27th at Annunciation. And she went through quite the ordeal.
Yeah.
Had her skull taken apart and put back together again.
Oof.
The doctor did a hell of a job.
Wow.
She was delivered to school yesterday. by a police escort.
That's cool.
The doc was there to give her the big hug. She got out of the car, ran over to her friends. I mean, this is a miracle.
Like the chief was with them, too?
Sometimes miracles happen.
Yeah.
I thought it was very important for her to recover.
Yes.
Because that just sends a big go bleep yourself to these idiots. Well, congratulations, kid.
Idiots is too kind of a term.
Congratulations, kid. That's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
And we lost Fletcher Merkel and Harper Moisky, but for reasons we're not able to understand, this kid defied all odds and made it. Her doc was Galicic. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Galicic. And he's the one who at once said, you know, when I opened her eyes, there was nothing there. I said, this is going to take a miracle. Well, he kept working, and they both did, and they saw hope beginning to make itself realized, and she made it. And she's home now. She's home. I don't know when she can literally go to class every day, but sounds like she's going to. Mm-hmm. So congratulations, kid.
As she continues to repair.
Mm-hmm. What?
No, I'm saying congratulations.
I didn't know that was the end of the sentence.
No, I'm just saying.
I heard a comma, and I thought I was going to keep going.
It was a declarative statement.
This rookie paused.
Yes.
I took some grief for my comments yesterday on...
God, no, please tell me we're not bringing up the ballroom.
Mr. Trump and his opening night of Kid Rock and Greased Midget Wrestling in the new ballroom. And I've had it pointed out to me by many people that, well, you know, Obama spent $376 million to create a basketball court. Well, I spent some time looking at that. No, he did not.
What? They got false information online?
Basketball.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The basketball, he did. He had some lines painted on the outdoor tennis court and 2 baskets put up. That might have cost $9. But, well, no, it's the government, so I'm sure it cost a lot. But it didn't cost $370
a little extra
million.
time to shoot some hoops.
What did happen, as near as I can determine, that what Obama inherited from W was action put in place to do serious infrastructure work, ironically enough, on the West Wing and the East Wing, which has now been torn down. So that was a $376 million project that took years. Obama happened to be president. He specifically did not call for that. He inherited that from W's term. I doubt if W even called for it. Somebody went to W one day and said, you know, the roof's leaking, the water doesn't work, that we flush a toilet, it backs up, bing, bang, boom.
It's like the old Oakland Stadium.
Yeah, it's the government. So the next thing you know, that cost us $376 million.
Yeah.
It's not really analogous to the ballroom. It's not. It's in fact, it's not even remotely close to the ballroom. It was infrastructure integrity they applied to the main house. Part of which we've now torn down because Trump knows a guy with a bulldozer and said, hey, can you get over here, Larry? I got an idea. Boom. The next thing you know, we got no East Wing, and up goes the neon lights and the mirror disco balls.
And we are going to have a helicopter pad on top of the new ballroom?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Surprised.
Forget the Marine One.
No man this important in the history of the world has had less class. No man. Now, before you all start writing me again, I continue to acknowledge that he was the antidote to the insanity that's been brought to this country by the mystery. He is the antidote. His trouble is he takes too many liberties in his possession of the antidote. And he overcorrects. For example, if he told you to put the Christopher Columbus back on the grounds of the Minnesota State Capitol, he'd also insist that the building be renamed the Columbus Building. He just goes, he overcorrects.
One step too far.
He's doing the Lord's work in many regards,
yeah.
But he overcorrects all the time. And I don't even know where the ballroom fits in the overcorrection problem.
So you're saying...
Yeah, I do know. He said we don't have enough room for a banquet.
Yeah.
Well, you could have knocked out a wall in there and squeezed another dining room table in. Not this guy. He knew a guy with a bulldozer.
And I know he's a huge fan of this particular outfit. He's going to have a McDonald's drive-through on the far side of the ballroom. So that way, that's for security purposes. That way he can get his Big Mac.
We
Which,
laugh.
by the way, who doesn't love a good Big Mac?
I don't.
I don't either.
Oh, come on, guys.
I don't eat McDonald's.
When you're on the run. Anyway, what were you going to say? You were going to say
there's so many fast food choices that you don't have to use McDonald's.
Okay,
They're never advertising with us, are
name
they?
your guy.
Okay, Tommy.
Name your guy. What is your fast food go-to?
On the road? Subway.
Name another one.
Joe's Power Rankings.
Yeah.
Culver's.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Culver's is a good.
Culver's
That's a good burger.
Solid.
Solid. Perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, solid.
But I don't like the Wade. You got to Wade.
What happens when they give you the
fresh?
I like a Wendy.
I don't like the Wendy.
I like the
You
Wendy.
like the Hottie, the Wendy.
I don't like the Hottie. I like the Wendy.
What about
Wendy's
Taco Spell?
inconsistent, though.
I've had good
Sometimes
luck.
you go to a Wendy and you get a great one. Next time, you don't.
Agreed.
Well, okay, then I've had good luck at the Wendy on the 3 times I've been
How
to
about
one.
the Burger's King?
No, I don't do the king. I do like to wear the little king hat, though.
Well, we don't have kings, though. No kings. No kings here.
How about Taco Spell?
Taco Spell.
Anywho.
I never would go there.
Taco Spell?
No.
We got the Hottie, the Wendy, Burger's King, Taco Spell. What was the name of the kid? I forget the name of the kid that he asked. It was a funny first name. I can't remember. But he asked him specifically, where do you want to go? To that guy. Brad Ryder told me that. He was on the bus when he did it.
I'm so out of sorts today.
Out of
Why?
sorts.
My watch quit working, and I'm of the generation that I rely on a watch. Not like you youngsters who just look at your phone or whatever. You even wear a watch? You wear a watch?
Look.
Do you wear a watch?
You know
Rook's
what?
got a watch on. John's got a watch on.
I never wore a watch until about 3 months ago, and the only reason I have it is for all the health.
It's an
stuff
Apple. Is
on
it an Apple Watch, Johnny?
No, it's not. It's a much cheaper than
a
Apple Watch.
Walgreens Apple Watch.
It's an orange watch.
It's an orange watch. No, I'm a watch wearer, and my watch usually I bang it on the table and she starts working.
Okay, Fonzie.
But this time, when I bang it on the table, no, I'm like Robert De Niro in Midnight Run. He's always checking his watch. It never works.
Yeah.
Well, usually when I bang it on the table, she's good to go for months.
Is it a
this time
battery
she's
issue?
stopping every 10 seconds.
Is it a battery?
Ain't no battery in
You
it.
better get that serviced.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
I know a
too.
jeweler.
Yeah.
Get this out of here.
Okay. Anyway, I hope I cleared up the Obama basketball court.
You sure did, Joe.
You know what? It doesn't matter.
You know what?
I wish you guys could have heard what Joe said to me
Knock
and gave
the whole damn thing down. I don't care anymore. Knock the whole
The
thing
entire
down.
White House? The entire
Everything.
thing?
Who cares?
The entire White
Who
House.
cares?
Gabe and I found the story for him, and then he said, you know what? He was so despondent. He said, just bulldoze the whole GD
Get her
thing.
out of here.
There was a cartoon, I don't know if it was New York or someplace, had a little bit of the White House and a gigantic Trump tower. And had somebody go, yep, looks right now.
We were trying to verify if there was an interaction on social media between the current president and the former first lady, Miss Hillary Clinton. But
She's going to be here. Did you see that?
oh, I did
Anyway,
not know
go
that.
ahead.
Is she going to the bowling event?
No,
in
it's at
Mankato?
Target
She's
Center.
Target
An evening with Hillary.
You want to have her on again?
How many seats are they going to sell?
Oh, that'll sell out. Are
You
you
think?
kidding? Oh,
it's
yeah.
not Michelle Obama, for crying out loud.
Rook, it'll be packed.
By the way, did they paint over Barry's basketball court?
Hey, Kristen left me
I call him
with a
Barry.
document. Oh, my God.
Yeah, too long to read.
Well, we
See
can't
you.
do it today, but I'll have to read it. It's all the guilty people in the food for fraud and what they did with the money.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. I'll just pick one at random. Dimajid Noor created a shell company, Noor Consulting, and laundered stolen money from Empire Cuisine and Think Tech Act. Other shell companies, court documents say. Dimajid, who was 21 at the time of his indictment, pocketed $900,000. Jurors convicted him of 10 crimes, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to commit money laundering, and various wire fraud and money laundering charges. Jurors also acquitted him on 3 counts of money laundering. This just goes on.
How much did we get back? Did we of the 900,000 he stole?
One more. Haji Salad, 34. Yeah. This is number 25. She gave me. I'll tell you how many I have. And this is all official state stuff. 44 of these characters. Haji Salad, 34, pleaded guilty to 1 count of wire fraud. Haji ran Haji's Kitchen, a vendor that purported to supply.
Great name.
Here we go. Here we go. Purported to supply more than 17 million people.
17 million?
17 million meals to various food sites involved in the food fraud scheme. Haji admitted to stealing 19 million and pocketing 11.4 million.
Wow.
He agreed to pay 11.4 million in restitution and sentencing guidelines to serve between a little over 5 to 6.5 years in prison. One of the homes Haji purchased with stolen money was sold at a higher price to an immigrant Chinese family in a transaction examined by the Sahan Journal investigation. Haji also contributed $437,000 towards the $2.5 million purchase of a 32nd acre parcel of land in Lakeville that was the site of that proposed Nolosha development project. This is so unbelievable.
So his stolen money even got ripped off.
His stolen money got stolen.
His stolen money got stolen.
Yeah. That's double.
Thank you, Kristin, for leaving me this. This is better than a Jack Carr novel. I'm reading his new one, by the way. We'll have to have Jack on again.
Why isn't that listed in the Pioneer Press or Star Tribune?
They don't have enough staff.
When we count the losses, do we count the 437 once or twice? So is it 900 something?
That's
or is
a twofer,
isn't it? That is.
It's a double, or is it a double negative?
Leap and believe.
Double negative.
Yeah. How you doing over there?
Yeah, let's take a time out.
Let's talk about North American Banking Company, shall we? You know what? They are not going to steal your money at North American Banking Company. No, they want to invest in your success for you, your family, and also your business. And you get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations, whether it's Roseville, 50th in France, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, or Maple Grove. Those 6 convenient Twin Cities locations are there for you and ready to help. And it doesn't matter whether you're looking to buy a home, perhaps finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been thinking about. My friends at North American Banking Company are going to be there for you and your family. And you know what? They're locally owned and operated. And here's why that's important. That means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this helps all of you business owners solve problems quickly and also expand your business with confidence. They deal with numbers every single day, but you are never one of them. So check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Here's John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will be in Minnesota today to talk about immigration operations amid a series of ongoing nationwide raids. Noem plans to discuss immigration and customs enforcement operations in the Twin Cities. She is expected to speak during a press conference late this afternoon. Last time I saw it was at 4, but they said that wasn't set in concrete.
I think she's going to come by and say hi to me, John.
I wonder if she's wearing one of her costumes. Or if she flew here in one of her 2 new jets.
2, yeah. Protests are also...
we got money. We're only $38 trillion in debt.
Protests are also expected in Minneapolis ahead of the visit. Former CEO of the Minneapolis Regional Chamber of Commerce is facing a federal indictment after he allegedly, quote, abused his position to embezzle from the nonprofit and steal $30,000 in Crime Stoppers reward money reserved for anyone who helped solve 3 shooting cases involving children. A grand jury on Wednesday returned an indictment against Jonathan Weinhagen on charges of wire fraud, mail fraud, attempted bank fraud, and submitting a false statement in a loan application.
And this guy's not a Somali?
No.
He's just a regular guy?
He's white as a sheet.
He wanted to get in
A
on
white guy?
He wanted to get in on the act.
Yeah, he screwed it up, though.
Why?
Yeah, he made it too complicated.
He did.
But you've got to reach a special kind of low if you're stealing money that was set aside to help.
Crime Stoppers.
Come on, man.
Plus 3 kids who've been shot.
Following his initial court appearance on Thursday, he put up a $25,000 bond to secure a conditional release. He was president and CEO of the Minneapolis Regional Chamber from 2016 until his sudden departure in June of 2024.
Don't you love sudden departures?
Sudden departure.
I got to go.
It's almost like a magic act. Right. You know, boom, the guy's gone.
It's like when the show's over and we all of a sudden don't hear from Kenny.
Yeah, he just froze.
He's just gone.
Charging documents allege that starting around 2019, Weinhagen entered into sham contracts with Synergy Partners, a consulting company he made under the alias of James Sullivan. The contracts allegedly paid out more than $100,000 to Weinhagen's fake company.
Wow.
Weinhagen is also accused of taking out a line of credit at Northeast Bank in the chamber's name, borrowing more than $125,000 and transferring it to Synergy Partners for personal use. He covered up that scheme allegedly by diverting donations from Chamber of Commerce members to pay off the debt. When the Minneapolis Regional Chamber discovered the line of credit, Weinhagen tried to cover his tracks by faking emails to make it appear as though Synergy Energies had dissolved, and then he published a fake obituary for his alias, James Sullivan.
All he had to do, pal, was buy some beachfront in Africa someplace. You would have been fine.
Weinhagen allegedly used the money to finance a family vacation to Hawaii, including first-class airfare and an oceanfront suite at the Hilton Hawaiian Village in Honolulu. In a statement, the regional chamber said it's aware of the allegations against Weinhagen and is cooperating fully with the U.S. Department of Justice's investigation.
John, was it a family vacation?
Yes.
Did it say? Wouldn't the wife have said,
where did we get the money for this?
Where did you get this dough?
Right. You know? He might have said, it was a work-related.
Yeah,
it's a work-related deal.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my luck.
Me neither.
I'm sorry, but the fake obituary is pretty good.
That's pretty good touch.
You know, going through that.
He killed off his own alter ego.
Yep.
He loved his family so much.
Well, he did. He was a hell of a guy.
Did they have a funeral and the whole deal, you think?
I don't know. They put his ashes in a Folgers can and took him to Lake Minnetonka.
Like Donnie.
Yeah.
Target confirmed it will announce the layoffs of 1,800 non-field roles next week. The move will impact 1,000 team members and close out 800 open roles, which equates to about 8% of the company's corporate staff. A Target spokesperson said that those impacted will continue getting pay and benefits until January 3rd, in addition to severance packages and other services and support. The spokesperson added no roles in stores with the supply chain will be impacted. All employees from the company's U.S. headquarters in Minneapolis were asked to work from home next week, while global team members will go to the office. The elimination of the positions was said to be an important step in accelerating in how the company will work.
How long until they head out of town?
Well, not long.
Yeah.
2 months after being charged once, a massage therapist operating in Brainerd has once again been charged with criminal sexual conduct.
Well, yeah, everybody wants to go to that massage therapist.
52-year-old Cameron Thompson is facing counts of 5th and 3rd degree criminal sexual conduct stemming from an incident that occurred October 17th. He had previously been charged with 5th degree criminal sexual conduct when he allegedly assaulted a woman August 18th, was later charged with 3rd degree criminal sexual conduct for the same incident. According to the criminal complaint, a woman who's also a massage therapist told police Thompson had sexually assaulted her, said she had made an appointment with Tree of Life Holistic for a massage with Thompson, the owner of the business. She said everything was normal till Thompson massaged, well, where he shouldn't have. Let's put it that way.
Swimsuit area?
Uh-huh.
Pay
boy.
attention to the nice
Naughty,
one,
huh?
not the naughty one.
You know, there's probably some legitimate massage therapists,
Oh,
right?
sure.
Yes.
Certainly.
But they got a marketing problem because the title is so tainted that it would be hard for anyone to believe it's
what
legitimate.
would be
They got a marketing problem. What are you? I'm a massage therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Show me the naughty hand. Show me the naughty hand.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was texting a client. I know what you're talking about. I know the story, but I missed one key part. Did you say he touched an inappropriate area?
Yeah.
Well, he touched a female.
Oh, okay. I missed that part. Not that
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with that. I was just trying to get my facts straight here. So, okay.
You're working it out in your
Well,
mind
there
there.
is
Well, I was
something.
just
working it
there
out
is
in your
something
mind over
wrong
there.
with it.
The second incident occurred October 17th when another woman.
Was she a
Chris,
redhead? Hang
Okay,
on.
that's the part I
Brunette or
missed.
a redhead?
That's the
booked
part.
a massage with Thompson on her family's advice. The criminal complaint said
You'll
that
love him.
during the massage, he began inappropriately touching her.
I'll
When
get the
wo-
horn for that. I got it right here.
When the woman confronted him about what he was doing, Thompson reportedly said his hand was numb and he hadn't realized where he was massaging.
Oh, boy.
Nudge. Yeah.
Numb?
That's usually my problem, except my hand is numb.
Thompson has since been arrested.
Get
He's
it
in the
numb at
Crow
first.
Wing County Jail.
I'm sorry. Massage
This is
stories
not-
just beg to be ridiculed.
Yep.
In fact, it cost us a client a long time ago.
Probably.
Think it did, yeah.
There was a nun in town.
Sister Rosalind.
Those were legit.
I think
the games,
did we just lose Sister Rosalind? She was on
Are
Cleveland.
you? Come on. You can't.
Sister
No, those
Rosalind.
were real.
Sister Rosalind.
She was
Joffre.
a great woman.
Yes, she was.
She used to do the massages at the Saints
At the
games,
Saints
right?
games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she still with us, I wonder?
I'm looking it up right now.
All right.
I bet you are.
And Mystic Lake
See how late she's open.
Mystic Lake Amphitheater's made its first few concert announcements with more to come. The recently unveiled venue in Shakopee is set to open next summer.
That'll be in competition with the new ballroom in Washington.
I believe Sister is still with us.
Good.
Sister Rosalind Joffre from the Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet. And
Well, good for her.
yeah, born in Strasburg, North Dakota.
That's where they know how
That's
to do
where
it.
Lawrence Welk's from.
That's
Strasburg.
right.
And
Eighth of 12 children.
Wow.
Her father died when she was 6. She grew up at a farm near Strasburg speaking only German.
8th of 12.
What a great, what a.
Thank you, Chris.
that's
I was
not a
trying
great
to do
Wait a
life.
minute. That math
too.
doesn't math.
What?
8 of 12?
8 of 12, and the
but her
dad
dad
died
was
when she
dead?
was 6? Were they storing the...
Well, I mean, not a lot to do in Strasburg, North Dakota.
No, the math...
If she's 8 of 12,
that means 4
9,
came
10,
after
11,
her.
12. 4 came after her.
She was born in
6 years.
1929 as the 8th
No,
of
Rook,
12
you're
children.
missing the math here.
Yeah, you're missing the point.
The dad died when she was 6. 4 more came after that. Unless
Well,
they were
You know.
canning apricots at the delivery room.
Well,
I mean...
No, that math works. There were 12
there's
kids.
12 kids.
So there's
Oh, God,
4
we're doing
more.
math. There's a bat and a ball.
So when she was born, she would have been born, and then they had 4 more kids. And then the dad died in her 6th year.
Matt's right.
yeah, there you go. Anyway, back to
Right on
this.
the ball.
I can't repeat that, just so you know. I don't know why
That
I'm
was
right.
a one-time deal.
Yes.
Back to the Mystic Lake
Yes.
concerts.
Greased midget wrestlers.
The first two now, the first one, now this won't be the first concert there, but it's the first announcement.
First announced, yeah.
July 22nd next year, 5 Seconds of Summer will be there.
good.
Tickets go on sale October 31st. Then on Saturday, September 19th, Iron Maiden will play with special guest Megadeth.
Wow. That
Tickets.
is a
Have you
big,
seen-
That's a big bill.
I drive by this thing every day. Have you guys seen what this is going to look like? This place is going to be awesome.
You drive by it every day because you live in Iowa.
It's in Shakopee. That's not
That's
that
a
far
long
from here.
way away. Nobody lives there.
Did you see the look she gave me when he said all the way out to Maple Grove? She's like, what is he talking about? It's not that far away.
That's true.
But it is for you and Rookie. Rookie thinks Eden Prairie's in Mankato.
That's close enough.
Well,
Joe,
yeah.
during a time when this is right up your alley, your marketing problem. During a time when parlors were associated with prostitution, she sought to change the perception around the profession and worked to change the laws that would distinguish licensed operations from the sex trade.
And
So she was turning
There
it
you go.
around.
she did. She was very successful.
And then one guy said he wanted to talk to a dirty nun. And
No, that's not in there.
She rebuked the man. One of these days,
That's true.
You will die, and you'll be face to face with the Lord. Is this the kind of thing you want to be judged for? Do you feel good about what you're doing? To which the man broke down and started sobbing.
Holy mackerel.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's a no then.
Yeah, right. That's no. I'm not your dirty nun. Come on, click.
Well, why don't we
That's why he was crying.
God forgive us.
I know, Lord.
Little break here before we have national.
How about a big break?
International news. See what's going on.
Play for Patrick Positive Thursday is here already. And like usual, it's brought to us by Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care. They're in Shoreview, 1060 County Road E. Everything you can possibly imagine related to auto care can be had right there at Schoonover's. Mike Schoonover with us. Hey, Mike, does the name Brady Bell sound familiar?
Yes, it does.
What a story. Can you fill us in?
Yeah, we're pretty, we posted that, fortunately Brady and his family were willing to share his story and tell his story because, we're going to be in Roseville here in a few weeks. And he, ironically, goes to Roseville Area High School. So we thought it would be perfect to have a student from that school tell his story. So they were willing to share Brady's story about his tachycardia and him attending the heart screening at Medtronic back in February of 2023, and our volunteers finding that he had a electrical defect, which was causing all his symptoms, and he went down to Mayo Clinic and got it fixed, and he has returned with no restrictions at all to be able to play the sports that he wants to play.
So they knew about this before the screening? Is that true?
Yeah, he had experienced, his heart would race and he would become lightheaded. He didn't feel good. He had to sit out of competition until, things calmed down a little bit. It sounds like he had been to some previous physicians who said nothing could be done. And so fortunately his parents or, somebody encouraged him to come to the heart screening. And we had some volunteers there that identified what was going on and suggested that he go down to the Mayo Clinic to have it further evaluated, and they fixed it.
Okay, it's called a ablation procedure. Is that right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Remember, Kenny, I'm a car guy, so
I'm not even that.
All right, that makes two of us. I'm a pretend car guy and a pretend cardiologist. No, they ablate it by going through a vein or an artery in the leg and going up into the heart, and then taking some type of probe and zapping whatever the extra nerve or current or whatever was causing him to affect the rhythm of his heart.
Sure. They went in the same way when I had stents put in. Really easy and painless.
Well, when you think about it, that's really quite amazing. And I guess we take it for granted now that it's done, every day, every hour, all the time, all throughout the world. And it's crazy. So we're living in some great times. So we're just so thankful that, he said something or he told his parents that, he was, feeling funky or whatever. They went and had it checked out. They didn't like the answer. They came to our heart screening, got checked out there, and then had the follow-up done down at the Mayo, which was fantastic.
And now he's all better. Tell me about this upcoming screening, Mike.
So it's going to be on Saturday, November 15th, and it's going to be at the Roseville Area Middle School in Little Canada. So the old timers, you'll remember that as the old Kellogg High School. Sure. So we'll be there in the gym, and to date, I believe we have 116 kids registered, which is great news. So, but we would like to max out, which is over 200 kids. So we're going to have a full array of medical volunteers and docs and echo techs and EKG techs. We're ready to roll. So we're really looking forward to being in Roseville. It'll be the first time we've been in Roseville. So we're really excited to be there.
Your home base, basically.
Yes.
So playforpatrick.org is the website if you want to volunteer or get signed up for a screening. Meanwhile, anything you need for your vehicle, you can have it right there in Shoreview at Schoonover Body Works and Auto Care. They are the official body shop and just general auto repair shop of Garage Logic. SchoonoverBodyWorks.com, the website. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, GLers. Everybody have a great day.
Stone's Beast of Burden-esque.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Here's John Heidt, the newsroom.
You can play.
Oh, no spot. I misunderstood the entire conversation beforehand there. In national and international news, annual inflation picked up slightly in September, but not as much as economists had expected. Government data did show inflation remains a sticky issue. Hello? With price increases.
I thought it was a chair.
It was.
Where policymakers want them.
We'll find out.
Food and gas prices rose from August, while pressure on housing costs eased.
I heard gas prices are just outrageous.
They're popping out.
Consumer price, I get it now. Prices rose 3% in September from a year earlier, the Labor Department said.
It's your face that
it's the giveaway.
Don't look at me.
It's the giveaway.
Don't look at me.
You look just surprised.
No, don't look at me. Quit looking at me. John, what's that next news story?
Look at that next story.
Next news story. Moving right along, more economy news. Americans, apparently, according to the new Reuters Ipsos poll, say they are worried about the cost of basic needs like healthcare, food, housing, and energy. Affordability worries helped power Republican President Trump to the 2024 election, but 10 months into his second term, voters have continued to face high prices for everyday staples, and according to the poll, say they're looking for relief. About 40% of the respondents in the poll, which closed on Monday, said candidates' positions on the cost of living would be the single biggest factor in their vote next year during the 2026 midterms. Another 14% said immigration was the biggest issue, and 9% said crime. In the Senate yesterday, two different proposals to pay furloughed federal employees, one proposed by Republicans, that one voted down by Democrats, one proposed by Democrats, that one voted down by Republicans. The GOP bill would have paid troops and some federal employees that are not furloughed during the shutdown, but Democrats continued to demand that Republicans negotiate with them to end the shutdown and extend soon-to-expire Affordable Care Act subsidies to prevent massive premium hikes. Democrats were instead backing a bill from Senator Chris Van Hollen that would pay all federal workers during the shutdown, furloughed employees, service members, and contractors. It would bar the Trump administration from using reductions in force orders to fire workers for the duration of the funding lapse. Again, both bills voted down.
I'm telling you for the last time, don't communicate with him.
We are not.
My microphone's not even on.
President Trump pardoning Binance co-founder and former CEO Changpeng Zhao yesterday. The move clears a path for one of the world's richest men to regain control of his company. Binance is the world's leading cryptocurrency exchange, processing over one-third of all digital currency transactions. In November 2023, Zhao pleaded guilty to money laundering charges after failing to prevent terrorist organizations, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, and others from using the platform. As part of a $4.3 billion plea deal, Zhao stepped down as CEO and served 4 months in a California prison. The move comes 2 months after the Wall Street Journal reports Binance struck a deal to promote digital coins from World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency startup co-founded by Donald Trump.
Blah, 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 Trump, blah, blah. It's like a Far Side cartoon. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's what I said to these guys when you left the room before.
Right.
Writing news is very tough on the national stage at the moment.
Yeah. Bitcoin. I don't do that.
You want some?
No.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is standing by a television ad that made Donald Trump angry. Yesterday, the president said he will call a halt to trade talks with Canada. The ad features selected clips from a 1987 address by President Reagan, in which he spoke about the long-term risks of trade wars and tariffs while explaining why he had used tariffs as a last resort against Japan. In a late-night social media post, the president called the ad fake, said he was terminating negotiations with Canada. Ford, who has led Canada's most populous province since 2018, responded today by posting a YouTube link to Reagan's entire speech. He said Canada and the U.S. are friends, neighbors, and allies. President Reagan knew that we are stronger together. God bless Canada and God bless the United States. As Joe said earlier, the East Wing of the White House now is completely gone. Wrecking crews had completely removed the decades-old annex by midday yesterday, just 3 days after they started to make way for President Trump's 90,000-square-foot ballroom. The teardown, which the Washington Post first reported Monday, prompted a massive backlash from historic preservationists and Democrats who accused Trump of destroying a national landmark and doing so under a cloak of secrecy. The work has also drawn thousands of tourists to Pennsylvania Avenue this week to watch, or try to watch, the heavy machinery. The Trump administration has restricted the public from most vantage points, ordering employees of the adjacent Treasury Department not to share any photos and escorting away journalists trying to shoot video. In what can only be called a case of curious timing, collegiate athletes and team staff will be allowed to bet on professional sports beginning next month.
That's a really good idea.
That's a bad timing.
The rule change and federal indictments come as the American sports betting industry posted a record $13.71 billion in revenue last year, and 43% of Americans say legal sports betting is bad for society. Those indictments we talked about, it was the arrest of Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier for their parts in two different gambling cases.
John, thank you so much. We're going to get Patrick on the phone.
After I tell you about our friends at Harmony Spirits down there in Harmony, Minnesota, another fantastic fall weekend, so head on down and visit Larry and Damon and the entire crew. And you know what? That tasting room is absolutely outstanding. And they also have a great rotating craft cocktail menu. And so when you go there, boy, you get the best. And you know what? You can also get those pre-ordered drinks. We're looking at a couple right now. The barrel-aged old-fashioned, also the blackberry lemonade. Very, very popular. But you can get those to go. So head on down. You can get those right there at the tasting room. But you know what you can really do to help out my friends at Harmony Spirits? Go into your local liquor store and ask for the Harmony brand by name. The consumer just doesn't realize how much power they have at your local liquor store because they want to put stuff on the shelf that you're going to buy. And that's really how you're going to help out the Harmony brand continue to expand. And thank you to all of you GLers that continue to do so. And for more upcoming events and everything else, go to their Facebook page. Just search Harmony Spirits Distillery right there on Facebook. They do a really good job of updating that. But once again, say hi to Larry and Damon and the entire crew and let them know that you heard about Harmony Spirits right here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
It's hard to tell when he's playing the Vikings.
It's just.
That's what I said.
Hey, Pat.
Yes, Joseph.
It's time to play McCarthy and see what you got. Let's go here.
Well, yeah, he'll play. He's going to play next. I think he said that today.
Okay.
I think the coach told us that today that McCarthy will start if everything's equal in Detroit a week from Sunday. But you know what my observation is, Joe?
What's that?
After many, many decades of watching the gridiron activity, if after 3 hours the other team has not been required to punt, you're in trouble.
That is a tip-off, isn't it?
My observation.
Yeah.
That the punter could have sat over there on the chair and watched TV, and it wouldn't have made any difference.
Amazon did the close-up, Pat, and you know what the highlight of him was? Practicing holding the kick.
Yeah. The boys really looked out of sync, didn't they?
Oh, man, that was a bad game.
Jeez Louise.
As bad as it gets. It was as bad as it gets. I mean, the quarterback, Herbert, is good, but he's not known as a scrambler, as a guy that runs, but
no, he ran all he wanted last night.
Every time he needed a first down, he just, hell with it, I'll just run over here.
You know, it might be a good idea, too. There's this giant area called the middle of the field.
Yeah.
You might want to put somebody there.
Yeah.
Well, my observation was their quarterback with pressure would run forward. Our quarterback would run backwards.
Yes.
Or he would simply duck.
Yes.
Yes. Although I will say the offensive line missing both tackles and the center has got a few holes in it. It was early on, it was a fast break to the quarterback there. And how much confidence does our coach have in Brosmer when Wentz was every piece of body language he offered was get me the hell off.
Oh, he was wincing in pain.
Yes, my left shoulder's been removed from its socket. Do you think it's time to take me out here? Yeah. And but he kept going. It was quite the ass kick.
Now your take on the gambling crisis.
My take on the gambling crisis is this is the tip of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic in all sports.
Oh,
Joe.
Yeah.
Now, once in a while to see a movie, I'll watch this thing called Tubi, and you got to have ads on it, right? But they got like 5,000 movies. So every ad is three black guys looking at a card saying, you can bet $5 on whether the guy's going to score 18 points or 16 points, and you can win 100,000 or something. They are trying to take advantage of the less sophisticated gamblers in this country, thinking that you can just bet over and under on every athlete. You know what Rousse's thing, the guy who's making $26 million, by the way, is his salary. All he had to do was look at what his over and under numbers were for the game, and then after 9 minutes say I'm hurt and leave the game, and then all of a sudden people got suspicious when there was like $100,000 bet on him being under instead of 50.
Pat, every prop bet you can invent can be rigged.
Oh yes.
Every prop bet can be thrown.
Yes. They well, you know what is a super duper scandal is Emmanuel Clase, one of the three best relief pitchers in the major leagues, just having his locker emptied out one day, and he went away, and there's really been very little reporting on that. That's just as big a scandal as this for the same reason. He threw one pitch out of the strike zone, and then they looked at the number of bets that were made on that first pitch, and it was like tens of thousands. So whatever this group is that monitors this stuff for the various sports says this is a little suspicious. So Emmanuel, who's sitting on a $150 million contract, but he's not such an idiot, he threw the thing like 12 feet outside instead of throwing it a foot outside. And
Pat, how are you supposed to trust a game?
Or at least a pitch, or a
it's
moment.
Coming down to you can't even trust a pitch.
No, they're allowing, and the NCAA just to prove that their sports administrators are permitted to bet on sports.
Oh, this is terrible. This is just terrible.
God, you know what? I can tell you guys how you can solve all of these problems. Every single professional athlete going forward that wants to gamble, just get an interpreter. When you get an interpreter, he's your fall guy.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever, you got to have the fall guy. But you know what? Here's the great thing. Yesterday, ESPN is giving us the shocking news on the Rosier and Chancey Billups being involved with the mob and screwing poker players. The next ad, FanDuel Sports.
Yes.
The next ad, ESPN's betting lines crawling across the bottom. It's there's no putting the genie back in the bottle here.
No, Pat, I have it. Actually, it's right here. It was actually a statement, Joe. It was a statement released. It's right here. The NBA is very concerned about the multiple arrests made as a result of the FBI sports gambling code. Use code multiple arrests for a 30% profit boost on a 3-leg parlay with DraftKings, the official gambling partner of the NBA.
That's terrible. Pat, let's break it down more on Monday.
Okay, yeah, it'll be. It is too bad that the gambling scandal broke because it took away from the mere scandal of the Vikings showing up. Are we sure they weren't betting on the other side?
Oh, good point.
Let's not dismiss that possibility.
Carson Wentz had the under of remaining limbs leaving the stadium.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you. I'll see you Monday.
Yeah, goodbye.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Garage Logicians, stick around for a preview of American Experiment's latest podcast with Grace Keating and Katherine Johnson. This week, we're discussing the communist influence on the weekend's No Kings protest, rising teachers' union dues to support radical left-wing politics, and Governor Walz's comments on his role in Minnesota's fraud epidemic. On the back half, Grace and I get to know the newest hire at Upper Midwest Law Center, the highly accomplished Rachel Paulos. Well, let's get into some of the news. I mean, the main thing is the No Kings protests happened over the weekend. One of the things we found interesting here at American Experiment is these protests were sponsored by the Communist Party of the United States. True, as John Phelan writes on our website, true enough, communists do not like kings, they prefer dictators. But I would suggest life under Charles III is infinitely preferable to life under Stalin or Mao or any of the other monsters who comprise the history of communism and government, with a total of 100 million deaths between them. And then he makes a good point that I always think about, which is, can you imagine if there was a right-wing event and it said that it was sponsored by the United States Nazi Party? It's not that much different. Communism has killed, as he says, 100 million plus people. It's a horrible, brutal, terrible way of governing a society. And it's something that now is propped up by the left and mainstreamed.
Yeah. If this was a right-wing protest that was sponsored, like you say, by the Nazi Party, every single Republican politician from our state level to our federal level would have to answer for this, would have to answer for every bad sign, and we'll get into some of them, would have to answer for every chant, would have to answer for every sponsor. And I think it's time we demand the same of our Democratic politicians. Do you condone this? Do you condone some of these signs we'll get into?
It's just another example of the far left influence on democratic politics. I think a lot of people attend things like these No Kings protests in good faith, completely expressing their opinions, of course, but not anything super radical. I think that was many people there. But when it comes to the leadership of the Democratic Party and the people on the left, they're radicals. They're extremely radical, and you can see that in the influence of things like the Communist Party, the Socialist Party, some socialist group was also a sponsor of this. Those are radical ideas. And so I hope that Minnesotans realize that when they're supporting even just a protest like this No Kings thing, that sounds very innocuous, there is a much bigger agenda there, and the money is coming from people with much wider and harsher goals in mind for America.
That was a quick preview of the content you'll find on the American Experiment podcast. Come check out the rest of our conversation at americanexperiment.org/podcast or by searching American Experiment Podcast on YouTube or any major podcasting platform. New episodes drop every Tuesday afternoon. See you soon.
Yeah.
Not that trying to help out.
Finally, thank God today is Friday. TGTI Friday. It's the scramble!
Boy, they come to us all the way from Spain, the traveling linemen. We just didn't do much today.
Nothing?
Two things. On this day,
Joe, today is October 24th.
In 1871, a railroad line reached Breckenridge in the Red River Valley.
Woohoo.
That's it. That's what they say here.
Wow.
You don't ride the train.
But if I did, I'd go to Breckenridge.
That's right.
On this day,
October 24th.
In 1988, Duluth Mayor John Fido went on trial charged with accepting a bribe and misusing city money. He was later acquitted. On this day in sports disappointment history.
So things haven't changed. October 24th.
Well, they did for him. Sure. He was acquitted. On this day.
October 24th.
On this day in 1977, the ACIA, whatever that is, reversed decision about players' ineligibility so football can get bowl game. What the hell does that mean?
American Collegiate Interactive Association?
Well, here's one we can understand as a disappointment. On this day,
October 24,
in the year 2000, Gophers vacated their 1997 Final Four appearance, as well as other years' tourney appearances as punishment for an academic scandal.
That wouldn't even get a coach suspended.
No
these
longer
days.
national champion.
That's right.
No longer national
and
champion.
you know what else you did back then among your many mischiefs? You counted the Metrodome as road games.
A Metrodome is not in the Willem Arena. No. Metrodome's road game.
Yeah, you counted the Metrodome as a road game. You were in town.
I'm going to tell you, why about the hostilities? Let's go have lunch. Burgers King, Taco Spell.
Thank you, GLers.
Yes. Thank you, Sheila.
Do us a favor and
Sheila.
join Clem Haskins and all of the followers on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. Yep, that's right. We've got a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day, starting right around noon. And you can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube. And search for us on all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And what am I forgetting? Oh, sign up for the Daily Logician. That email comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com. It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, oh boy, now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh. And he is there for you for that free, yes, I did use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And Josh, a lot to get to today because Tesla is not selling as many cars as they thought. The administration may take more stake in companies that they deem critical. And boy, oh boy, do we've got a lot of news to cover with gambling and the NBA. Wow.
We'll come to the gambling last, but betting, I'll say betting on sports or sports betting has become bigger and bigger. And since it is a heavy-duty sports betting season, what with the World Series, basketball starting, hockey starting, and football in full swing, you would think, we'll say that the sports betting operations and the casinos would be doing gangbusters. But before we get to that, Tesla reported earnings last night. Much had been expected as Tesla stock has moved off the lows and up about 40% in a pretty short period of time as Elon Musk left the government and Doge and headed back to running his company. Yet when they reported, they did show sales coming from Europe are still down as competition in Europe heats up, particularly from Chinese cars and European manufacturers. And there's still a lot of animus directed at Elon Musk and America, primarily on the tariff situation. Tax credits have also been a big part of Tesla's earnings. They were down about 40% which again shows not as many cars are being sold. And there are many investors who are disappointed that Musk did not touch so much on future for Tesla in terms of battery technology, robotaxis, or Tesla's robotaxi getting a real run from Google's Waymo, which is now extending their service overseas and trying to take on Black Cat in London. Google's earnings, along with Microsoft, Meta, favorite Apple, and favorite Amazon, come out next week, and we'll be on those. But right now, we've had Tesla and Netflix report, and both stocks have suffered as not meeting very high expectations. Meantime, the government has been talking about, or the administration has been talking about, taking more stakes in critical industries. They've taken a stake in several rare earth companies, and that helped boost MP Resources, a company that does not yet make any money. They've taken a 10% stake in U.S. Steel and another 10% stake in Intel. They say these are non-voting stakes, but still stakes nonetheless. Now they're looking to take quantum computing companies, which has pushed these stocks up. Please, when it comes to the quantum computing companies, I'm not going to say stay away, but these companies are highly speculative, not making much money at all. And on price to sales ratios, they're up in the 100 to 200 times sales category. These stocks, definitely not for the faint of heart, exceedingly, and I'll emphasize exceedingly risky. If you do want to look at quantum computing, go to some of the old line companies like IBM, and I'd even include, again, Alphabet in that category. Time back to gambling. Heavy news today. Former, we'll say, Timberwolves player and we'll say Hall of Famer and current coach Chauncey Billups is linked with player Terry Rozier and others caught up in a gambling scandal, on one part directed at poker and another part related to, we'll say, sports betting on certain basketball games over a 2-year period from 2022 to 2024. I'm guessing some of this came up as sports books do look for vicious activity when it comes to bets. So they're trying to definitely to make things as fair as possible and trying to eliminate a lot of cheating. I'm still liking companies like DraftKings and Flutter. But again, when it comes to high-priced stock and highly speculative companies, please be very careful.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Chris.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.